Ladies and gentlemen, the reason we become angry, frustrated, or bothered is not because of what happens, it is because of how we engage with what happens. We allow ourselves to get too close, we merge with the situation, we become the situation, and when you become the situation, you are no longer free to choose your response, you are caught, you are trapped. There is a simple but powerful solution: create distance. Not physical distance, but emotional distance. A space between what happens and what you choose to do next. This space is called awareness. And awareness is developed through mindfulness. Mindfulness is not complicated. It is not mystical. It is simply the practice of watching your own mind. When someone speaks to you with anger, you watch your mind. When someone criticizes you, you observe your reaction. When life throws challenges, you stay present, not lost inside the story. Most people live as if they are their emotions. They say, I am angry, I am sad, I am frustrated. But this is a mistake. You are not your anger. You are not your sadness. You are the one who is aware of these emotions. They pass through you like clouds in the sky. You are the sky. When you train yourself to remember this, something powerful happens. You stop chasing every thought. You stop fighting every emotion. You become like a mountain still, grounded, unmoved, while the winds of life pass around you. A wise master once said, between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space is your power, the power to choose your response, and in your response lies your freedom. If someone insults you, they offer you a gift. If you do not accept it, who does the gift belong to? It remains with the giver. When someone offers you anger, offers you disrespect, you can choose not to receive it, you can let it stay with them, you can create the space that gives you freedom. But this is not something you practice only in difficult moments. It is something you train every day. When you walk, be aware that you are walking. When you eat, be aware that you are eating. When you breathe, be aware that you are breathing. By practicing small awareness in daily life, you build the skill of mindfulness. And when the storms of life come, you are already prepared. You have already built the distance. Mindfulness is like sharpening a sword. You may not need it every moment, but when you do, you must be ready. So remember, it is not the goal to control other people. It is not the goal to silence the world. It is the goal to develop the space inside you where peace cannot be touched. The more you expand this space, the more life can no longer shake you. Ladies and gentlemen, one of the greatest illusions in life is that we are victims of our emotions, that we are helpless against anger, frustration, and irritation. But this is not true. You are not helpless. You are not a slave to your emotions. You have the ability to choose your response. You have the power of self-mastery. When someone offends you, when someone disrespects you, what is your first instinct? The instinct is to react. But there is a difference between reacting and responding. Reaction is automatic, response is conscious. Reaction is what happens when you allow your emotions to control you. Response is what happens when you control yourself. The true martial artist does not fight every time someone pushes him. The true martial artist chooses when to move and when to be still. In the same way, the wise person does not fight every insult, does not chase every disturbance. The wise person chooses their response. But how can you reach this point? The first step is to realize that every emotion is a visitor. It comes, it stays for a while, it leaves. When anger visits you, you can say, I see you, you are here. But you do not need to follow it. You do not need to become it. There is great power in simply pausing. When you pause, you create space, and in that space, you are no longer controlled by old habits. In that space, you remember, I am not my anger. I am the master of my mind. Shi Heng Yi often says it is not about suppressing emotions. It is about understanding them. You are allowed to feel, but you must not be controlled by what you feel. Ask yourself, what outcome do I want in this moment? Will anger take me there, or will calm wisdom take me there? When you learn to ask this question before you speak, before you act, you begin to live with power. Power is not in shouting louder. Power is not in winning arguments. Power is in remaining calm, when others lose themselves. Power is in choosing peace when your ego wants to choose war. People who try to bother you are expecting your reaction. When you do not give it to them, you are free, and you teach them something much deeper. You show them that you are no longer movable, you are no longer a puppet to their words or their moods. This is what self-mastery means. You are not controlled by others. You are not controlled by your emotions. You are not even controlled by your old self. You choose, you decide, you lead. This is how you walk the path of freedom. And this is how no one can ever disturb you again. Ladies and gentlemen, there is a certain kind of strength in this world, a strength that cannot be seen but can always be felt. It is not the strength of the body, it is not the strength of power or position. It is the strength of someone who is unshakable, someone who does not bend with the winds of insult, does not fall with the weight of criticism, and does not collapse when faced with negativity. Many people ask me, Shi Heng Yi, how can I reach this level? How can I live without being bothered by others? The answer is, you must stop being so available to the negativity of others. You must learn the art of emotional detachment. Detachment does not mean you stop caring. Detachment means you stop absorbing. It means you see things for what they are, without allowing them to enter and poison your inner peace. When someone speaks with anger, it is not about you, it is about them. When someone tries to bring you down, it reveals more about their suffering than about your value. But why do we still suffer? Because we choose to pick up what they throw. Because we choose to carry their words, their judgments, their negativity. It is like someone walking in the street, throwing stones. You can decide to pick up each stone and carry it, or you can let the stones fall untouched on the ground. The difference is your choice. When you live with this understanding, you become immune. Not because the world becomes softer, but because you become stronger. I tell you this, you will never control the mouths of others. You will never control the behavior of every person you meet, but you can always control your own mind. It is not necessary to react to everything. It is not necessary to prove anything. Sometimes silence is the most powerful answer. Sometimes walking away is the greatest victory. Sometimes remaining calm is the highest form of strength. Your peace is too precious to give away so easily. Why would you hand over the keys to your inner temple to just anyone who knocks? When you build your house strong, storms will come, but your walls will hold. Winds will blow, but your foundation will remain. People will try to disturb you, but you will not be moved. This is what it means to live unshakable. When you understand this, you no longer see difficult people as enemies. You see them as part of your training. They are not obstacles, they are your teachers. They test your patience, they test your calmness, they test your wisdom. And if you pass the test, you will discover a peace that no one can take from you. Thank you.